Carter Blackburn with Kevin Stalker, pleased to be joined by San Diego State first-year head football coach Brady Hoke. And Coach, I should say welcome to San Diego, but I mean you're now head coach of the San Diego State football team, and a nice tan to go with it, I might add.
Well, you know, we've been outside a lot lately with spring football, so we're trying to get some things done.
Now, an Ohio native, you had been at Ball State, which is your alma mater, and then a great run at Ball State, and then coming out to San Diego State. What did you see in this San Diego State football program that got you out here?
Well, I think really it was, you know, the opportunity to recruit in this area. I was at Michigan for 8 years, and I recruited California, really the 7 states on the West Coast, and had a lot of good success, met a lot of good high school coaches, and were able to build some contacts. And I think, you know, the high school football is so well coached in this area, and the commitment to it is so great that, you know, I think there's a lot of opportunities here.
You spent some time in the Pac-10 as well, didn't you?
Well, I was at Oregon State for 6 years, yeah, and we were struggling a little bit, but really that's where Coach Rocky Long and I coached together, and Dan Ferrigno, who's on our staff, and I think that also was, you know, a big plus of living on the West Coast and recruiting down here.
And I'm sure coming out here, you know, from where you came from, yesterday was 100 degrees, pretty warm. Yeah. I'm sure you really miss being where you were, the nice warm temperatures. You know, it makes it tough out here.
Well, you know, it obviously the weather is unbelievable, but I called a couple guys back in Muncie yesterday, and they were getting snow flurries, so, you know, it was one of those things.
Stinks to be them.
Yeah, it does, but we're out there working right now with our spring football, and we're probably one of the schools that is going to be the last ones finished, so but we've had great weather.
And you have some San Diego State lineage as well. Your brother was an assistant here?
He was an assistant here in 1987 and 1988 with Denny Stoltz when Coach Stoltz was here. So we had come out here and visited them, obviously, when he was here. And in fact, we were working at the University of Toledo then. And, you know, so we know a little bit about Rubio's and some of the other places here in town.
Well, probably the most notable San Diego State football days were the Air Coryell, aired out Don Coryell, and the success that this program had in the 1970s. Now, you put up some impressive offensive numbers at Ball State. What can Aztec football fans expect out of Coach Hoke's San Diego State football team?
Well, you know, Coach Coryell, he put the bar awfully high, and you know, it's great to have him around in town, and he's been out of practice, and he's such a significant part of the legacy and the tradition of San Diego State football. But, you know, we're going to be a team that we need to run the football. We need to be a team that's going to, you know, try and control the game and help our offense and help our defense by running the football. But at the same time, the play-action game and some of the things I think Al Borges brings in from an offensive perspective are things that are going to be very well suited for us.
What a staff, by the way, you put together. An impressive group of head coaches with great resumes.
Well, you know, these guys.
I said head coaches, but in some cases that's true.
Well, that is true. You know, with Coach Long being the head coach at New Mexico for 11 years, and it really is a group of guys who really, number one, have the kids' best interest in mind and helping them develop academically, socially, and athletically, and guys who really care and know what the meaning of being a coach is. And, you know, our guys have really responded well. I'm proud of how the kids have responded to a new regime, a new culture of how we're going to do things.
So I'd love to ask you a little bit about your schedule, starting off with UCLA. I mean, how does it set up for you guys?
Well, you know, every schedule, it doesn't really matter how it sets up, to be honest with you. It really is going to be, you know, a schedule that we've got to be ready to compete every Saturday. So, you know, opening up with UCLA is great, and in the Rose Bowl and the tradition of playing in that place is something that will be special. And, you know, we've got 3 home games in the middle of the year at home, and I think our bye week comes at a good time after Game 6. So, you know, I think the schedule's great, but it really doesn't matter. We just got to go out and play.